Hi, I'm Rachel, and welcome to Confident Self-Leadership with RealSuccessStory.com. Often the focus of trainings is about leading others, leadership skills. But I truly have found that the greatest leadership begins with our own self-leadership. How do we lead ourselves? And there, from that place, we can see the impact of how others are led. The story I'm about to share today changed leadership and self-leadership for me in the most impactful way, and really changed everything about how I am in the world and how I see myself. And it certainly led to a great increase in confidence. And now I've shared this story with thousands of people all over the globe. And as they've really taken the lessons from the story and made the changes that it offers, they've done things like started new businesses, changed relationships, or begun new ones. They've let go of things that were holding them back to really create the life that they want, to feel happier and more connected to themselves and the people around them. Ultimately, this is about developing the strongest, confident self-leadership muscle that you can build, and letting your life build into exactly what you want it to be. So if you are ready to let go of imposter syndrome and self-doubt, if you are ready to grow your confidence, your clarity, and to really transform who you are in your own life, then listen, I'm ready to tell you a story. Several years ago, I was in LA and I was with a friend one evening. This friend, he's a shaman, a healer. He spent his life just traveling the globe, healing people and bringing music to their lives. And he had this ability to know exactly what somebody needed. And on this night, for some reason, he knew I needed this story. And so he said, "Can I tell you a story that my ancestors shared with me? It's about 3 colors, yellow, green, and orange, and about the way we live." And here it is. He said, "You know, there are 2 ways to live in this world. You can live small, fitting in, pleasing people, holding back some of you, hiding it, some of your values, some of your opinions, some of your voice, staying a little bit quieter than you should so that other people will find you acceptable, playing small. And when you show up this way, people don't get to see you or know you. They just get to see the part of you that's willing to show up and play small. And so when you do this, you're acting in a way towards yourself that is yellow. You are being yellow for yourself. And other people feel yellow for you. So yellow really represents that kind of sense of neutral. It's okay. Being in my company, if I'm showing up yellow, is an okay experience. It's not exhilarating, it's not terrible, it's just appeasing. Of course, when we show up yellow, what we know is we're trying to avoid rejection or judgment or embarrassment. We're trying to avoid being excluded. Being yellow attracts yellow. Well, truth was, I knew in that moment that his words are resonating with me because I was showing up in a lot of life being pretty yellow. He said there's another way to live. And that is showing up completely and authentically as yourself. To say what's on your mind, to speak to your values, to have your voice, to be living into your biggest self. Unapologetically you. This isn't about being loud or extroverted, although that can be true for you. But as an introvert, this is about also just being true to who you are. No hiding. just owning your place in the world in the biggest and boldest way that you can. It's about being willing to go after things and make mistakes and keep trying. It's about being willing to change your mind. It's about being willing to say, this is okay, that's not okay. It's about having boundaries. And when you live this way, into your biggest, boldest self, you feel green for you. Green is representing this sense of, like, I'm a fan. You're a fan for yourself. It's great to be in your company. It's vibrant and exciting. It's somebody you can connect to because they're seen, right? You're showing yourself. You're being heard. People can actually understand who you are with depth and want to connect. So when you're being green for yourself in this way, you attract green. Makes sense, right? But you also attract people being orange. And orange represents that these people see you and they hear you. They see the depth of you, they get you, and they just don't like it. They don't like what they see or hear. They disagree with your values or your beliefs. They disagree with what it is you're saying. And so these people criticize or essentially leave, right? They reject you. At this point, I'm thinking, yeah, I work really hard to avoid those orange people. And he said, do you know what the purpose of life is? I'm going to be honest, in this moment, I had no idea. I was completely enthralled in the story. And he said, Rachel, the purpose of life is to get rid of yellow. And this really hit me because I'd spent my whole life trying to avoid those 3 people that were going to be orange, that I was willing to play at being yellow, lose track of who I even am so that I could just fit in. And here was the call to myself, to self-leadership, being green. So these next few videos and worksheets are going to entirely focus on where are you showing up yellow, why, and who would you be if you were showing up green, and practical steps of how you can start doing that. Because I know through working with people all over the globe that when you live into green, you attract green. And there's very few oranges out there. And the even better news is typically they avoid you because they don't like you. Remember that part? They don't get you. Or they do get you and they don't want to be around you. So they're actually not really a problem to even have to consider. But getting out of being yellow for yourself and living that way is. So being green is a pathway to confident self-leadership, and that's what we are all about. Look, if you know you're ready to dive in deeper, get this taken care of, you want to do some deep work, reach out to me. Let's talk. Let's have a coaching conversation and see if some more deep coaching would be right for you. For the rest of you, next time we're diving deep into yellow. We got to know where the problem is to get rid of the problem. I'll see you then.